In a feel-good ESPN story about how the Bucks are building everything around Giannis and trying to make him the focal point and obviously the franchise player going forward, and how Giannis ideally wants to play his entire career in Milwaukee. Kevin Durant threw some cold water on the Love Fest, advising the Greek Freak to, quote, play for himself. So in the piece that, again, ran on ESPN, Giannis says his goal is to be a one franchise star a la Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Dirk. And he said, quote, I just want to be one of those guys that stays for the city, play for the city for 20 years, unquote. Asked about Giannis' comments and the mutual love between him and Bucks fans and how the team is marketing him internationally to become a global brand, Kevin Durant, who obviously infamously left OKC and Russell Westbrook hanging a couple summers ago to go win a ring with the Warriors, said this, quote, what I would say to him, I would tell him to play for himself because he's the one out there putting in the work. He's the one out there getting up in the morning, staying committed to the game. Obviously, the comments about staying put sounds good to the fans in Milwaukee and to the ownership because he cares so much about wanting to please them and play well for them, and I get it, but his career is about him. It's about whatever he wants to do and however he feels is right for him. And what type of basketball does he want to play? He's not going to stay in Milwaukee if he's not having fun playing the game. Giannis can leave in a couple years. He has a few years left in his 4-year, $100 million contract. The extension's up at the end of the 2021 season. If he doesn't force a trade early, which obviously could be on the table. But I guess to get the bottom of this, does KD have a legit point here that, Giannis needs to play for himself and not get too involved in the idea of being the franchise savior or city savior for Milwaukee that hasn't won a title in decades?
You know what this is? It's that it's like listening to an older person talk about something they went through that they're not letting you go through. You know, like someone's trying to stop you from going like, yo, I've been down this road. Trust me, you don't want to do this. Yeah. But as a young player, you don't give a shit what the older guy says. And that's you're talking about a 22-year-old guy who still believes in the fairy tale of playing for that same franchise for 20 years, winning a championship for the city. I mean, he's only 22 years old, 23 years old right now. So the idea of the same idea Katie had at 25, 23. The same idea that Westbrook had at 23. Same idea that LeBron had at that age. Winning the championship, doing all this. That's the fairy tale. You playing them for 20 years, that is what you decide to do. Do they want you for 20 years? Have you ever heard a franchise come out and say, hey, this guy is with us for 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, Dirk, but obviously he's taking a lot of pay cuts to stay there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that was a city that was built around him. Like,
well, let me ask you this.
These guys are in here about money.
Of course.
Right?
1,000%.
So, yes, why he's 22, yeah, you're our guy. You're our guy at 34, 35 when they need to bring in more young players. Are you still their guy?
Yeah.
Is the media your guy? Because at 22, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You can be the star. You can be the Greek the Freak, international star at 27, 28. Oh, can the Bucks, because that's what lead players to leave. When they start reading, is he good enough to win? Is he that good to win? Can he win a championship? Can the Bucks actually win a championship with this player? When players started reading that, that's when they're like, well, if my legacy is built off a championship, then I need to go get one because they're not giving it to me here.
So inherently, the idea of the super team is players looking and saying, okay, if I need to win a championship, then I have to go team up with these other players.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. If
you're just reading the media reports all the time.
If you're sitting in a city for 8 years doing everything you can possibly do and you're not winning, is it you? Or is it, hey, man, I wanted this person and you gave me this. I wanted steak, you gave me Chef Boyardee. Like, I mean, that's what this really is about. Like, you're not giving me the tools to build to a franchise.
But generally, the thinking of those guys kind of changes around age 27, 28, that age range?
It's about 28, about 28. It's like, that's what I said, because that's when the media turns on you. That's when the media starts putting, like, legacy, championship, legacy. That's when, like, his legacy ain't going to be nothing if he doesn't win a championship. Like, my legacy is built off me winning. If I'm fortunate to win a championship, good. Thank you. But most players are not fortunate because the guy upstairs don't want to win a championship.
Are they overblown? Are championships overblown?
I think it's overblown because if you were a player like, the Greek, and you get drafted by this guy, you can average a triple-double the rest of your fucking career. If the owners up there thinks I'm just going to pay him and milk this guy the rest of my life, and I'm not going to pay no one else, who gets hurt? Whose legacy gets hurt?
Russ's, or not Russ's, or just anybody that's
Anybody who's playing there. So now you're a player like, yo, I'm getting judged by championships, but this franchise is not into winning championships. So now I got to leave. Now I'm a fucking trader.
So obviously,
now I got to sit around until you trade me.
You see what's on my mind, the player that's 28, 29 is obviously going to get those questions about, can you win? Can you do that?
And that's why KD left.
So has the age of the mercenary player in the NBA kind of been ratcheted down? Like generally the mercenary player, like I guess maybe a decade ago in your heyday would have been like Gary Payton and Karl Malone going to the Lakers. Now I guess we're looking at guys 27, 28, when they can get a big second contract. Those are kind of the mercenary players now.
But look at a Karl Malone. He turns down 17 million at that time. Because I'm sitting in Utah my whole fucking career, did everything I can possibly do, didn't win a championship. I'm on the end of my career. I want to go try to win one. To stamp the mailman legacy. And that's the sad part, because in some weird way, we have this idea that I averaged 30 my whole career, and I can go win a championship no matter what I did for that championship. It stamps my legacy. Like, oh my God, I'm a champion now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm one of the greats. No, that's fucking media bullshit.
In the ideal world, would you like to have stayed with one organization your entire career?
In an ideal world?
Yeah.
I mean, ideal world, yes. Everyone wants to stay. If you're happy, if the organization is building and winning and you're doing what you're doing, yes, it's in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you would like to stay right there in that same, your same house, build the same fucking family.
Yeah.
Of course that's what everyone wants.
You thought you were going to be a Warrior your entire career?
That was a good one.
That's a good question.
I've been known to ask a few good questions.
He's a good one.
Stumped you on that one.
I mean, the Warrior, my Warrior experience, I was on a road to try to be the best player I can be. So I didn't really get to enjoy what Golden State was offering. I was sitting in the gym all day trying to prove that I belonged in the league. So I sat in the Warriors basketball gym. You know what I mean? It was like the Marriott. I'm at the Marriott fucking day in and day out. And that's all I remember from that franchise. I don't remember the city. I don't remember much of nothing. Just going to the gym, Eric Hausen, what's happening, rebound, let's do this. And that's, he's the equipment manager, and that's what we did.
Do you regret that at all or no?
No.
Okay, it worked out.
It was part of my mission. I wasn't a focal point guy. I ended up making myself a focal point guy, but I was there just second round pick. Come on, let's go.
Worked out for you.